Today, I'll be recreating the makeup of Sophie Baek from season 4 of Bridgerton. Yay, Bridgerton is back, the first part of season 4 anyway, and the new main character is played by the beautiful Yeren Ha. And for this season, they seem to have returned to the classic romantic heroine kind of look, similar to Daphne Bridgerton in the first season. So it's really stripped back, but radiant skin, eyes that are like barely detectable, a little bit of flush to the cheeks. And then in the masquerade ball scenes, she has this vibrant pink flush on her lips. I found an article that listed the exact products used, so I went ahead and picked them up. And yeah, that's the plan for today, recreating the makeup look of Sophie Baek. Let's get into it. Starting with the complexion, the Glamour article I found that talked about some of the products and interviewed makeup designer Nick Collins. They mentioned that they focused a lot on skin prep and primers, and they use the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I don't have that one, but I do have the NARS Light Reflecting, which has that radiance to it. I find this quite glowy, so what I'm gonna do for my prep before this is just stick with the Milk Hydro Grip. I find if I prep too much glow under the NARS one, it's just like starts to look greasy. So if you ever find that your glowy serums under the glowy foundations is just a little too much, just opt for a primer like the Milk Hydro Grip. That's all about getting the skin hydrated and tacky and ready for the foundation rather than layering lots of glow products on top of each other. Before I go in with the foundation, I am going to use my classic color corrector. This one's from Charlotte Tilbury. And I always use this Rare Beauty concealer brush because it just is really dense. You can really get into a corner and just wedge a concealer or a color corrector where you need. And I do want the eyes to look lively, even though we're not doing really much eyeshadow. Let's just make sure I don't look a little bit haunted. Today is about looking very radiant. I'm just gonna start with one pump of this. This is the shade Gobi, if you're curious. And then I'm taking the Merit foundation brush, which is a very dense brush. I find really packs a punch for foundation. I've been trying out some new brushes for foundation, but nothing has yet competed with this one. Just spreading this all over the face. But as I move my head around, you can see that little bit of glow. And as the foundation wears a little bit, it really starts to show its radiance, I find. So just one more pump for the side of the face. This foundation shade is just a touch dark. It's more of a summer shade for me. So I'm going to use a concealer to both brighten and conceal any areas that I find need just that little bit extra. I'm using the NARS Radiant Creamy and Chantilly. And instead of going straight to my face, I'm going to put it on the back of my hand just to really get control over it. With these more minimal makeup looks, it really is about taking the time to put those extra details in the complexion, whether it is just building things up slowly and just taking that little bit of extra time with the skin, essentially. Even if it feels like it's not making too much of a difference, all the little steps really do at the end of the day. So I'm getting this right above the brow bone, a little bit on the eyelid as well. And I'm using this brush that's new to me from BK Beauty from the Angie Hot and Flashy collab, and I quite like it for using concealer in like when you want to put it a little bit more around the face rather than really spot focus. So I always like to brighten right beside the nose for these more minimal makeup looks. Just brings the face forward. They did say that they very subtly sculpted the face, and frankly, they often do this for movie makeup just to bring dimension back in after you use any kind of foundation, and it just helps emphasize any contours of the face. I'm going to take the Vive bronzer in Light. I love this one for this effect because it's very subtle, not too warm, it's not cool like a contour, and I'm just going to tap that onto the skin ever so slightly. I don't want it to look like bronzer. I just want it to look like my face is sort of being shaped out a little more. I'm gonna put the touch of that here at the temple, and yeah, just bring out the cheekbone. These looks tend to emphasize cheekbones, especially when you add the blush, and then a little bit along the jaw. If you go overboard with the bronzer, it just feels a little bit more modern, and that's definitely not the look we're going for today. And this is the BK Beauty 115 brush, new to me, but I'm loving the size of it and the density. It just kind of perfectly goes right under the cheekbone. Gets the job done really quick. Her brows look very natural. I feel like they did very little to them, just a soft shaping or maybe filling, depending on her natural brow shape. So I'm gonna do my usual brow powder and just softly fill them in. I don't want to make them too dark or too precise or too shapely, really. It's just about bringing that little bit of definition to the face and to the brow. Then I'll just take a pencil and just extend the tail just a little bit and set it in place with a brow gel. For the lips and cheeks, they mentioned that they were using Clinique products for the lips. First, there was this Chubby Stick moisturizing lip color in Super Strawberry. It's like a sheer balm. And then they said they layered a little bit more of this Chubby Stick cheek color balm in Roly Poly Rosy on the lips too for a bit more vibrancy. So I'm gonna assume, since this is a cheek product, that they also use this as the blush. It's a little bit unclear, but this is described as a blushing pink, which I do think is perfect for this kind of look. So while you can't see her cheeks in the masquerade scene, because she's all covered up with her mask, in other scenes, she definitely has this flush to the cheeks. When she's in her maid uniform, she looks very radiant with just a touch of blush. And so I'm just gonna assume that under that mask is also the same, and then there will be some unity between the cheeks and the lips. And I'm placing this right on my cheekbone, and then just a little bit blending up. And it really just is a classic pink shade. I'm just gonna put that little bit extra because I like it. I think it's pretty. I think it always adds to the look a little bit. And then when I powder down, it won't disappear, essentially. I really do want that blush to still show up. And then I'm gonna take a powder, the NARS Soft Matte Powder, and I'm gonna just put this really softly on a little bit of the face. I don't wanna mess with the radiance too much, so just at the center here, around the mouth, eyelids, and right there. And then they mentioned using a Becca powder for just a touch of highlight. So I'm gonna use this What's Up Beauty Wild Acacia. Gosh, I can never say this. This is a highlighter palette, and I'm gonna go in with the pink side with a kind of bigger, fluffier brush because I don't want it to be too much of a pinpoint highlight. Just this sheer wash of a little bit more luminosity on the cheekbone there. You can even go into the powder than the back of your hand to make sure you're not overdoing it. But like, you could definitely see it, her cheekbones catching the light. And I'd say even her brow bone. All right, let's move on to the lips. In the masquerade ball scene, she really has these vibrant pink lips. I'd say they are a little bit more of a cool tone pink, and you can tell there's this balminess to it. So as I said, they used the Clinique Chubby Stick Lip Balm in Super Strawberry. And so what I'm gonna do first is layer this on the lip. It's just a sheer wash of color at first. And because it's shaped like this, I can use it to start to bring it out to the corners of the lips. It's just got that little bit extra precision. And this is where you're seeing the balminess on her lips. Like, it catches the light, but it's not as intense as a gloss. That alone just looks so pretty. Like you could almost leave it there. But then they did say they shaped out the lips just a touch. The lip liner shade they have is a makeup brand I've never seen. Sleek Makeup in Friend Zone, which is described as a nude pink. And just based on pictures, it kind of looks like NYX Mauve, so that's what I'm going to use. You don't want the color to look very different from the lip, just this slight shaping. And because we already did the lip balm, it's just going to blend with the liner. But we want that little bit of extra pout that a lip liner always helps create. So as I lay this liner down, it also is bringing the shade of the lip balm out for a slight overline. But you really don't want the colors to look different. They need to look seamless. That's truly such a timeless shade of pink. It almost looks like a lip tint, or as they apparently did back in the day, using like beet juice to tint the lip. So that's definitely the look you want as the base. And then we're gonna add the little bit of extra vibrancy on top with Roly Poly Rosy, which was the cheek shade I used. So I'm just gonna put this on my finger and blot that at the center for that little bit of extra zhuzh. And if you have dark hair, just like Sophie, this kind of pink, I find just like especially pops in such a beautiful way. You could definitely adjust it to your complexion a little bit lighter, a little bit deeper, but really the essence of the lip is just that classic, vibrant pink. And there you go. In this scene, you can barely see the eyes because they're truly covered up by the mask, but they did mention that they used a Dior palette to just do, you know, like your skin, but better. That's not a phrase, but you know what I mean? Like a couple shades deeper than your skin to just subtly sculpt out the eye. So I'm going to go in with the Natasha Denona Glam palette, and I'm going to use this shade Blend, which is something I use when I want that just a little bit of something on the eye. And I can see in some scenes, it's like she has that definition in the crease and on the outer eyelid, and it diffuses out. So it really just looks like part of her complexion. So just really blend it out into the temple. Honestly, that's like it. Like you don't see any sparkle or really any sheen on her eye. Not yet anyway. I've only watched 2 episodes, so no spoilers, please. And then if you look closely, she has the littlest bit of liner on her upper lash line. It looks pretty dark. I'd say it's a near black, if not a true black. But because I'm a little bit fairer and have a bit less contrast, I'm going to go for a dark brown rather than a black. A black might look just a little bit harsh for me. So I'm going to take Smoke from here with a little angled brush and just very, very, very softly add a little bit of depth right there in that lash line. Just squeeze it in. It's like she blinks and you can't see it sometimes, you know? It's like you, like, is it there? Is it not? So just barely do anything. And also feel free to adjust the shade for your complexion. For this look, you want the lashes to have a touch of definition, but you don't want it to look like mascara. So I recently discovered this technique that is so great for that. You take your mascara, take the wand. This is a dark brown, so I potentially recommend that depending on your complexion. And then you're going to take a brush and pick up the product from the wand and then put it on your lashes. So it just starts to add this definition and a little bit of tint to the lashes without looking like mascara. It's kind of like getting a lash tint. And I think it's nice to still have that feeling of mascara, even if you're not committing to it fully. Like a full mascara look can kind of ruin the effect of this really timeless, romantic kind of look. It just feels a bit too modern and out of place sometimes. So I just went ahead and threw my hair up to really complete the look, but I do think it looks really nice with the hair down. It's just such a classic look. Classic romantic heroine. The vibrancy of the lip just really brings it to life. And I definitely get why in the scenes when she's a maid, they kind of leave her face seeming more bare, but then when she goes to the ball, the lips are really this focal point. You know, imagine a white mask here and just how much this stands out. It's just such a beautiful lip color. So I do link all the products down below in case you missed it or you're curious to check out these shades. I'm happy to have found the article that said exactly what they used. And in terms of curls, just if you're curious, I do recommend curling inward for the side framing pieces. It always feels a little bit more timeless in terms of like a period piece influenced kind of movie or show or whatever, whereas curling away from the face is usually a little bit more modern. And then I just kind of twisted the back hair up. I don't know. And I really think the radiant skin, a little bit of flush to the cheek, just really looks so pretty with this lip. I'm really happy with how this all turned out, and I'm gonna see if there's any other makeup looks in this coming season and then the part 2 of the season. So if you have any requests, definitely drop them down below. And if you want to subscribe for more content like this, that means a lot. And that's it for today. Toasty, let's take it away. Thank you, friends, for watching until the end. It really helps support my channel, helps tell YouTube that this video is worth watching. And if you have any questions, drop them down below. And if you want to check out my Patreon coven for bonus content and ad-free content, you can help support my work there. I'll link that below. And that's it for today. May you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, witches.